recording one Charsie Chats, but hello, welcome. My name is charsieluxxx and I am your host for today's episode of Charsie Chats. And I am beet red now because I was super warm. I had on my hoodie. I was freezing before I started that episode. And oh my god, and this is what happens. I get nice and red and whatever. I just took off the hoodie, I'm getting relaxed, and I am super excited for this episode. Now, this one technically could have even been a luxxxycharms due to the fact that this is going to be movie related, and my original Leprechaun episode that I had 2 years ago was done through luxxxycharms, so I don't know. Maybe I'll call this a luxxxycharms Charsie Chats, because it's not like I haven't done that before in the past, because this is just laxed. This is just going to be easy editing. I'm not going to be like super intricate with it or anything, and that just to have fun with this. And I'm actually shocked and surprised.
I am shocked! Well, not that shocked.
At how much my opinion has changed in the last couple of years. And so I kind of touched on it on the last Charsie Chats. I should probably introduce it and explain it a lot better. So today I wanted to go over the Leprechaun franchise and talk about my ratings. So from my #1 favorite film to my least favorite. And what's weird is I think all of them have changed. So I have my notes. Well, actually, I didn't bring it over. I'll have to go grab that and come back with it. But I have my updated ranking, and then I still have my notes from 2 years ago. I wrote it all down in a notebook, so hooray for that.
Hooray! I'm useful! I'm having a wonderful time!
And I will say what my old rankings were. So I'm trying to think. Should I go over my fresh new rankings and then say what was my rankings 2 years ago and just how much my opinion has changed on several different things, including my thoughts and opinions on origins. So if you'd like to get into that, definitely come join me as I talk about it. And obviously in the comments down below, please tell me your rankings and your thoughts of the Leprechaun franchise. I love this franchise. It's such an underrated franchise compared to the other horror movies. It's one of those things where if anybody asks the question of what is your favorite franchise that is underrated to some of the other ones, mine would be this one and Tremors. So if I had to focus on any of the franchises, Leprechaun is one of those where I can watch all of the films, and it's the same thing with Tremors, that they are so underrated. Whereas, yes, I also love the Friday the 13th. I love the Halloween. I love A Nightmare on Elm Street. But you kind of pick and choose some of those films where it's like, there's certain ones that it's like I can watch over and over and over again, but some of the other ones I could care less to ever watch again. Whereas for me, this is just me and my personal thoughts and feelings on it, with Leprechaun, I can just watch them over and over and over again. And what's really nice is that in one of my movie watch groups, we tend to do a Leprechaun marathon this month. So I mean, you kind of got to for St. Patrick's Day. So let's get into our comfy clothes, and if you got some popcorn or some fun snacks and drinks, have them on you as we sit down and talk about the Leprechaun franchise.
A few moments later.
Now I just have to hope that my notebook doesn't fall down, because I have it haphazardly balancing on that bookshelf, but it's right there. So I have my new rankings for the Leprechaun franchise, and the one that I am noticing is that I almost want to do this ranking without origins included, because automatically, no matter what, origins is going to be ranked last. And I think I kind of hinted on this on my last one. That's the only thing. I didn't rewatch my episode from 2 years ago, but I have my notes, so I know what I wrote down and what I was thinking. So you understand what my brain is thinking, okay?
No.
So Origins. It's one of those films where if I'm going to compare it with the rest of the franchise, it's not up to par to the rest of them. It's not the same spirit. It's not even made the same way. It's not the same feel. It's not the same comedy. And we can't even say that because they don't have Warwick Davis in it, that's no, because Leprechaun Returns didn't have him, and the actor who played the Leprechaun in that film had the same spirit and attitude from all the other ones. So Origins, I'm going to pluck it and throw it out. Because we're not going to rank it with these ones. Origins is one of those that if it was a standalone film, if it wasn't even associated with any of the other Leprechaun films, it would be rated a pretty good film. Because in my opinion, if I don't think about it in relation to any of the Leprechaun films, it's a good movie. It's a good standalone film. But if I compare it with all the other ones, it's not going to hold up the same standard. So I think we should get to the point where Origins is its own thing. And like I said, it's not a bad movie. Is it a great film? Is it a blockbuster film? No. But it's a good film and a well-done horror film on top of that. So we'll get off that subject because like I said, if I had to rank it with the rest of them, unfortunately it would land dead last due to the fact of everything I just said. So we're going to start with my number 7, which is Leprechaun 2. That is now my least favorite one on the board. And the thing about Leprechaun 2 is it's got some really great kills, like fantastic kills. Like motorboating a lawnmower? I mean, that's a fantastic creative kill. And the thing is about Leprechaun 2 that it started making me think, like, what is it about this film that I don't like it as much as the other ones? I still like it, I'll still watch it, I still enjoy the kills, but I think it's almost icky for me because the whole time the Leprechaun is trying to force and kidnap this woman to be his bride, and that because of a family curse passed down for centuries, that this girl just has no choice and has to get married to this leprechaun. So there's an ick factor to it.
Really?
And the story isn't as well done as the other ones. The comedy's not as fun. And let's face it, when we think of all the other Leprechaun films, they're all fun, they're all light. And this one just has more of a dark tone to it too, which I'm fine with dark films, but it's not as fun. So, next for number 6, I have Leprechaun Back to the Hood. I enjoy this film. It's just unfortunate when I'm comparing it to the other films, it's not as high on my list as the other ones, but it's better than Leprechaun 2, and I love the outfits that they give the leprechaun in this one. I think one of my favorite wardrobes for the leprechaun is definitely for Leprechaun Back to the Hood. It's a fantastic costume. So then number 5, I have Leprechaun in the Hood. So this one is also just a very lighthearted, fun, goofy horror film at the same time with amazing kills. It's got a funny little plot line, and it's just fun to watch, especially which I have been doing with my movie group and everything. It's fun to watch with friends.
Lep in the hood, come to do no good. Lep in the hood, come to do no good.
Then number 4, I have Leprechaun Returns. I have this one pretty high up on the list, and I do enjoy it. It was a really well done sequel to the original. So if you just think of in terms from the original one to Returns, they did a really good job of these ones being paired together. Now, why I don't have it ranked higher, the characters annoy me. And it's one of those things, it also made me sad that, I mean, I guess somewhere I'll pop in like little warning things like spoiler alerts, but you know what, we're getting to the point where that film is how old now? If you haven't seen it, just be prepared. If I'm talking about movies, there's going to be spoilers. But it's one of those things where they made the choice and decision to bring back Ozzy's character to the sequel, and they made the decision to kill off his character. And he's a beloved character from the OG original film. But yes, they did bring his character back to be a ghost and that he was a guide, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, why do we have to kill off? And I think he was literally the only original who had returned to the film. So it kind of gets a lower rank from that kind of aspect. It would have been fantastic to see a few more OGs in there. I mean, I think we know why Jennifer Aniston didn't come back.
And it is a big deal!
It makes me sad that you get all these actors and actresses that when they first come into film, they will gladly do horror films and that, but then once they have a name for themselves, and they kind of like poo-poo on horror films after that. It's just, I don't know. If it was me, I would gladly come back to do a sequel or a return. So, but anyway, so number 4, like I said, was Leprechaun Returns. They did have a lot of really fun kills in that one too. But yeah, there were a lot of characters in that film that just really annoyed me. Maybe I'm just supposed to be annoyed by college students now. I don't know, and just their dumb antics. And I get it, you're supposed to not care for them so their character dies, but I should be rooting for somebody type of deal. But anyway, number 3 for me is Leprechaun 4 in Space, or Leprechaun in Space, however you want to put it. I love this one. It's so dumb, it's so ridiculous, but that is my creme of the crop. Creme de la creme? Cream of the crop. I was mixing 2 things there. Chef's kiss, whatever you want to call it. I love the ridiculous sci-fi horror films, especially in the franchises when they pull them in. I love Jason X. There's just something special about pulling these franchises and turning them into a silly sci-fi film at the same time. So that one is high up on my list because I just love it, which I know a lot of people can't stand that one. So that's where I differ from that. Number 2 is the OG original Leprechaun. And that one before used to be my number 1. So that was one of the main ones that I could remember. But it's just gonna be one of those things where there's a certain reason why my new number 1 is Leprechaun 3. And Leprechaun 3, like, the storyline is amazing and it's fun and it's Warwick at his best, and they pulled in amazing actors and actresses for it. So the OG for what it is and what it stands for, and the chef's kiss line of "fuck you, Lucky Charms." I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with that.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Number 3 has moved up to my number 1 on my list because of the fact that I love that film inside and out. And the fact that you get well, this is a perfect time for quotes because it's not labeled as that, but I'm calling it that. He is a were-leprechaun because he gets bit by the leprechaun and he starts turning into a leprechaun himself. So I just always have this funny joke where I'm like a were-leprechaun. And you have amazing, hysterical kills where a lady blows up, or you have the magician that is cut in half right in front of his audience, and so many more amazing kills. So that is my updated ranking system minus taking origins out of the fact now. So number 7, Leprechaun 2. Number 6, Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Number 5, Leprechaun in the Hood. Number 4, Leprechaun Returns. Number 3, Leprechaun 4 in Space. Number 2, the original Leprechaun. And number 1, Leprechaun 3. Leprechaun in Vegas, baby!
Vegas, my kind of town.
If I look at my notes from before, my ranking was this. My number 1 was Leprechaun 1, so the original one. Number 2 was Leprechaun 3, so those two flip-flopped. Number 3 was Leprechaun 4, so that is the one that has stayed constant for me. Number 4 was Leprechaun Returns, so that is also the same for me. Number 5 was Leprechaun 5, Leprechaun in the Hood. Number 6 was Leprechaun 2. So number 7, I had Leprechaun 6, Back to the Hood. And it's like, the more I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, over time, Leprechaun 2 has just gone lower and lower on my list till it is my least favorite one now. And I love and enjoy both of the Leprechaun and the Hood. So it's one of those where that one is way more fun and has better characters than the second one. I think that's the other thing too. The characters that they have for Leprechaun 2 are not in the same ballpark as all the other ones. Where I enjoy a lot of the characters, where in that one it was like, meh, they're so-so type of deal. So yes, that is my brand new ranking systems. One day I think I will take the time to do a full deep dive of Origins, kind of get some history behind it, and if it really is supposed to be a part of it. There's a huge part of me that doesn't understand where they are supposed to relate to each other, but if you buy the Leprechaun pack, the film is included in there, so it has to relate, but it doesn't. So anyway, moving on from there, I definitely want to say happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you are in your green. I hope you are spending time with family and friends and having an amazing time. And if you get the chance, I hope you get a movie marathon with the Leprechaun films. They are an amazing fun time. But yes, thank you so much for joining me here on your St. Patrick's Day as I talk about the Leprechaun franchise all over again. So I'm actually kind of shocked by the fact of how many things had changed and how many ones had stayed the same, stayed pretty constant. But yes, if you would like to follow me on my other social medias, there'll be a link in the description down below. And I would love for you to come and join me in my Patreon. Every little bit ends up helping me out so that I can grow as a cosplayer. And on the screen, you can see a shout out to my fellow Patreon members. And thank you so much for joining me on there. And always remember, I'm the afterlife of the party, but I would love for you to come and join me in the afterlife of the party. And always remember to slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. And until next time, my little luxes, I hope you have a luxxxycharms kind of day, or would that be a luxxxycharms kind of day today? Until next time, bye.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, man, you do that pretty good.